Okay, thank you.
My name is Helen Roth. Most people pronounce it Roth, but I go by the German name Roth. And I'm historian of Sugarloaf Township. Now, does any of you girls know how our valley was discovered? No? Okay. In 1780, Indians did live here in the valley, and the white men were over by the country club, and that is where the Sugarloaf Massacre occurred, September 11th, 1780. Now, the Indians shot a lot of our people, and my great-great-grandfather, George Schellheimer, was in the battle, and he lived to tell about it, but they have his name on the massacre monument, and he should not be on. He was found that he was living in Northampton County after that, but it was very hard to keep track of people as they moved. And so that actually, people from Northampton County came up to bury the dead. And that is how our valley was discovered, because the people saw how beautiful our valley was. And this was over by the Valley Country Club where the Sugarloaf Massacre occurred. So they came up, and it wasn't too many years after that, the first settler from down Northampton County, his name was John Belliot. He came and he bought a lot of land up here. Not too long after that, my great-great-grandfather decided he wanted to be in Conygham and Sugarloaf Valley. So he loaded his 9 children from age 20 to 2 months old and came in a horse and wagon with just the belongings on their back. So he bought 240 acres, which is now where the Job Corps is. Does anyone know where the Job Corps is? Up in Drums? Okay, well that's the land that he owned. So then there was, Indians also lived here, and I have a picture to show you. My great-great-grandmother was a full-blooded American Indian. Now back to Northampton County, my relatives were very against Indians because my great-great-great-grandfather was murdered by the Indians on the Blue Mountain. So my grandfather bought a farm on East County Road, and it's near, do you know where the Sugarloaf Recreation Field is in Sugarloaf? No? Okay, well this Indian village was just east of there, and it was on the farm that my grandfather bought. And they had an Indian village down there. And when I was a youngster like you, I went down to pick blackberries. And I used to say to my grandparents, why are all of these humps down there? Well, they didn't want me to know because they thought I would take this to school and the kids would probably be mad at me or whatever. They didn't want me to know this. So later on in life, I did find out. I guess I was about 12 years old when I found out. The humps that was under the trees down there when I went to pick blackberries were where the Indians were buried, the ones that died in this Indian village. And does anybody know how they buried Indians in those days? Okay. When they buried, their knees were put up to their chest. And after that, they were put into the ground. They humped the ground in big pits. And on top of that, they burned wood so the animals would not sense the smell of a human being underneath the ground. Then on top of that, they put flower pots on top. So that explains why all of these humps were in my grandfather's woods. And I can show you on page 22 of the book, I can show you the exact, can you see that? Those are the humps. And they're still there to this day. So, like I told you, my great-grandmother was a full-blooded Indian, and I brought a picture along to show you. In fact, she was confirmed 1827 in that church right next here. And this is my grandmother that was a full-blooded Indian. Okay? And her daughter, well, they bought land up near Walmart, Hollywood, they called it. They bought land up there. And then Trent Scotch, he wanted to buy their land, so then they all came to the valley. So my family has a great dealing in this valley. And I'll show you my mother lived to be 101 and a half, and this is when she had her birthday party. So like I said, our family was very much involved in discovering this valley, and I'm sort of proud of it. And I have lots that I could tell you, but I think I'm probably running over right now.
No, you're good. I mean, I'm sure that was really neat, wasn't it? So I don't know if you have anything else you would want to share. We don't want to take up your time. That's what's most
Well,
important to us. So
let's see, what did I miss? I mean, there's so much,
So we heard a rumor. We don't know if it's true, but are you related to Pocahontas?
Yes.
Okay. Well, do you guys want to hear how that?
Well, we could never, I mean, the Indians never kept records.
Right.
Our tribe did. But I will, I do have it here. I will show you a picture of Pocahontas and my mother. Okay, here we go. Okay, this is Pocahontas right there. That's my mother, and that's my mother at 39. And this was my great-great-grandmother's two sisters. So I don't know if you want to see how Pocahontas. Yeah, there's a lot of stories that can be told, but like I said, my grandfather, when he tilled the soil, he had many, many Indian tools he used to bring home. We had dishes and dishes of arrowheads, and would you believe I do not have one from our farm? You know why? I was in school, my mother was at work, and I came home and I noticed there was glass all over the front walk. And my grandmother was about 83, and I went in and I said to her, "What is all the glass laying on our front walk?" She said, "Oh, an antique dealer was here and he was trying to get out in a hurry, and he dropped two of the chandeliers from up the attic." I said to her, "And what else did you sell to him?" She said, "Oh, well, you know," she said, "those carnival glass dishes that we had all the arrowheads in." I said, "Yeah." She said, "I sold them." I said, "What did you get for them?" "I got $1 a dish." I wanted to sit down and cry. I didn't have one arrowhead out of my grandfather's farm. The antique dealer took them all. I said, "Wait till my mother comes home, Grammy. You're gonna get heck." She said, well, I own this house. She said, she can't say nothing to me. So what was my mother gonna say? She said, you know, Mom, you should have never done that. Well, she said, I got $1 a dish. In those days, I guess she figured she was really getting a lot of money for that one dish. But it really hurt me very badly that I wouldn't have. Now, I have arrowheads, but not from my grandfather's farm.
And your grandfather's farm was out by the Job Corps, or where was the farm?
No, it's behind where I live on East County Road.
Okay, all right.
It was the Indian village was on the three-cornered patch, as we called it.
Okay.
There was a little stream in the front, and the Nescapec Creek was in the back. Now, in those days, when they bathed an Indian child, they cracked the ice on the little creek to bathe the babies.
Oh my gosh.
That's how they toughened them. Well, they had no running water except the little water that was running in the creek there. So they had it really, really tough. But they loved their blackberries in my grandfather's woods. They planted corn and things like they, to eat, corn and beans. But life was tough at those days. And that's how they, and the Indian girls and boys started marrying at 14 and 15 years old. They never went to school. They had no reading or writing like you people do. So you're very, very fortunate.
So were there a lot of Indians that would marry the white settlers then?
There is quite a few. Andy Weaver, the owner of Sugarloaf Mountain at that time, his name was Andrew Weaver. He married an Indian. My great-grandfather married an Indian, and there was a few other people from the valley that married Indians. Okay?
Yeah. Oh, that's wonderful. I could sit here all day and listen to these stories. I love it. I love it. So my husband worked with a man named Gary Roth. He was, but I guess he said he's related to your family, I guess, somehow. He lives
okay.
in Berwick area.
Was he Harold Roth's daughter? Son?
I don't know. I could find out. But he said his grandfather used to walk all around, like where the pilot is on 93, and collect tons of arrowheads because he said it was a big watering hole.
Oh, sure.
Okay.
The trail came from the west of the Brainerd Church and then came right up. In fact, my house is right on the trail.
Wow. Wow. So I bet you still could maybe find things, maybe not so much.
I don't know. I think I know when Coopers took over the farm, they did, but I don't think now. I mean, I think it's been pretty well sorted through.
Yeah. But so that area by Pilot, was that all your family's land? And
Not that far.
No, not that far.
No.
Okay.
And there, I don't know if you knew, there was an Indian cave.
I've heard that. Okay.
Well, I have a picture of it. A girlfriend and I said to my mom, we're gonna go to see the Indian cave. She said, I wanna go along. I said, no, at 93 years old, you can't go with us. We climbed over berry bushes, over logs. It took us 1 hour to go back. We finally found the cave, but the cave was on the other side of the creek. But I had a camera with a telephoto lens, and I was carrying that along. So I said, thank God I have this, or we'd never be able to tell people we found it. Now I understand from the heavy traffic of the trucks, it has caved in. But yeah, it has. And I do have a picture of the cave in here somewhere. Hopefully I do.
Where can you get your book? Do you sell your?
I'm gonna order next week.
Okay, all right.
Now here's the Indian cave, and I was able to,
wow.
but it is no longer available for anybody to see. And when I came home, my mother was so mad. I could see fire sticking out of her eyes. We were gone 3 hours, and I told her we'd only be gone like a half an hour. She said, I was gonna call the cops. She said, where were you two? And I started telling her, well, we had to climb over bushes and branches, and we decided we went in a warm day in February. Why? I'm deathly scared of snakes. And we saw large skeleton of snakes laying there. So what?
Who went with you?
Do I what?
Who went with you?
Lorraine Heckroth, she was a girlfriend of mine. So we were gone 3 hours, and my mother said she was gonna call the cops, and I can reason with her. We were gone exactly too long. But I did get the picture, and that's what I set out for.
How did you know where to look? How did you just heard stories?
A relative of mine that lived along, right by the bridge there on Main Street in Cyrusville,
Okay.
she owned land, and her and her husband used to go down to see it. So she gave us an outline of how to find it.
Okay. And why? So it's under a road. Why did the
Well,
trucks?
it's under a road, and from heavy farm equipment,
Oh, okay.
it has caved in. Because after our 200th anniversary in Sugarloaf, people came to me and they wanted to know where it was. And a couple of the men went back and they said it's caved in. So I'm very happy. Even though I got heck when I got home, but I deserved it. Like all kids do, you know, but I wasn't a kid at that time either. Okay?
Oh, that's great.